Good morning, everybody. It's Big Manny.
Adolf.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's another wonderful football Sunday. You know, we are ready for that football to come on today. I want to thank everybody. This is episode 10 of the Sports Cave on #champs. And we got a couple of different topics we're going to discuss with you guys today. We're going to discuss a little bit, not to get too political, but a little bit about the NFL protests and the backlash. We're going to go, of course, the recap of the NFL Week 4 and then the upcoming games. A little bit about the NCAA scandal that went down. And then, of course, top 25 in college football. So make sure y'all stay tuned in. Make sure y'all chat and call in today.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
You're now tuned in to the Sports Cave on #champs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Cave, the official podcast of real fans. This show streams live on YouTube every Sunday at 9:30 Central. Start your morning with us. We interact with our audience through a live chat. We take phone calls, and while we're on the air, if you can't make the live stream, make sure that check out the recorded version. It's available on YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play Music every Monday morning at 6 a.m. We'd like to have you subscribe to our community, and you can do that by visiting #champs.tv and make sure to subscribe to our channel.
Thank you. And also, don't forget to check out our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and check us out on our Twitter handle at DaSportzCave.
All right, so without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started on the topics for the week. We are juiceless today. There's no juice. There's only two of us today.
Man down. He's
out
of town.
He's out of town and not with us today, but he is tuning in with us. He might be calling in to speak with us and chat with us as well. So, yeah, make sure y'all can call in too. So the big story everybody's had their opinion on this week. We've had a protest by the NFL against Trump. People are making it, about the American flag. I don't know. Everybody's got their own opinion on it. I still kind of don't know how I feel on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. There's a lot of people that are originally Colin Kaepernick set out against inequality and against injustice to minorities and police brutality. And now, because of Trump putting it on the forefront and calling the NFL SOBs and calling out all the players, he basically made everybody make a choice, and a lot of people have made those choices. And then you have teams like the Cowboys who are actually getting a lot of credit and praise and even calls from the president himself, thanking him and what they're doing, and everybody's now showing unity, which I think is a beautiful thing personally. I love that people are locking arms and coming together. The Green Bay Packers even tried to get their whole stadium to do it. Did it work? Did everybody join it? No, but there are more people that were locking arms. These are strangers. These days, you can't get anybody to say hi to you and get off their phone now. So to me, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I think what Trump said polarized a lot of people, but I think that it is going to bring a lot of people together.
To me, being the president of the United States, it was just an unnecessary thing to say or to do. I mean, for the president of our country to speak that way, that's not a president. Like he should have more class than that as the president of the United States. Yeah, like you're single-handedly one of the most influential persons in the world by being who you are. And to me, to just we already got all these racial tensions going, and you just want to add more fuel to the fire for no reason. Like there was nothing that made you have to say that. Like you could have just kept your nose out of it and worried about other things going on, such as Puerto Rico needing supplies and help from the U.S. government. But I mean,
there's a lot bigger issues, and some people even said, "Was he upset? Is he still upset with the NFL about not letting him become an owner back in the day when he was involved with the USFL?" So there may be bad blood with that as well. But I agree with you completely. There's a lot bigger things for him to address. But it is a good thing to see people coming together. We'll see what happens this week. Last week the ratings actually went up. They went up, and people are tuning in to see the national anthem. The national anthem is now an event. It's a spectacle. So it's changing the way that the games are in casual.
Now I want to see how the ratings are this week versus last week, with people saying that they're boycotting it all together.
Yeah, that's another
people
side of it.
burning all their sports gear which I don't agree with it. But you know what? That's your right to choose to do that.
That's
so
true.
Burn it all or donate it all.
That's true.
It would be a better option. But
on the flip side, that's true. There's a lot of people saying that they are going to boycott the NFL and they're burning their tickets and they're not going to go.
Canceling their season tickets. They're canceling their subscriptions to the NFL Network, to Red Zone,
and I even saw DirecTV. To your point, Manny, is refunding people that purchased the NFL package. So it's hitting corporations as well. There's sponsors that are going to be involved and looking to see what they're going to do.
Von Miller lost an endorsement too.
He lost, and it's trickling down to the kids as well. And I saw earlier today before I came in here that kids got kicked off of their team, their Pee Wee team or junior high team, because of taking a protest. And to me, that's too much. How are you going to do that to a kid?
Yeah.
It's polarizing right now. So that's why we're bringing it up. We don't want to get into a lot of politics, but we are definitely aware of our surroundings. We know what's going on. We know what's going on in sports.
Everybody has their view of it. Hey, whatever view you choose to take or whatever stand you choose to take, that's your right. I'm not going to, we don't have to agree. I can live my life without it, keep watching the NFL, and we still be good with it. Yeah. I'm not going to hate you over it. I'm not going to let that divide anything that I do or make affect my life for something that I don't believe in just because you believe in it. Hey, I'm not going to lose no sleep because so-and-so doesn't want to watch the NFL or because so-and-so took a knee. You know what? That's their right to do that.
Right. Full disclosure, I came from a military family, and I even myself considered going into the military, but due to personal stuff, I didn't go. But I fully respect the anthem and the flag and everything that's all about. But I don't see that that's what this whole thing is about. So I respect anybody that chooses to do that, to protest in their own way and peacefully. That's what this country is based on. So you have the right to do that and, respect anybody that takes a stance.
Yeah, so we're not going to waste too much more time on that. We're just going to get to the good stuff now.
Right. We know what we're here for.
Everybody knows the real reason we're here for. Yeah. You know what day it is? It's Football Sunday.
Yes, definitely.
Gridiron Giants come out today.
Yeah.
So
definitely, man.
So we had a Thursday night football game. It was the Bears against the Packers. We kind of already knew what the outcome was probably going to be of this game.
Yeah.
The Bears haven't been too hot this year. So.
No, but before we even get into it, the whole rivalry was pretty remarkable, though, that they, for their whole series, was tied and even to 6 ties. So they got an old school rivalry, but this year definitely the Packers were favorites big time. They shut them down pretty much, right? The Bears didn't get anything going.
I mean, they looked okay on the running game. They have some good running backs.
Howard
and Cohen.
Good. Yeah,
Howard's starting to outwork Cohen a little bit, but Cohen is some. He's going to be a force to reckon with by the end of the season. Yeah, he runs good.
I picked Howard in the second round. I'm happy. He got 14 points in the PPR league, and I have Cohen on the. I sat him on the bench on this league because of the workload in one of my leagues, but I mean he still got 8 points on PPR league. He's definitely an asset in PPR.
I had a terrible night in fantasy football on Thursday.
Oh, that's tough, man.
I actually had an injury to two of my players in 2 different leagues. So I had Ty Montgomery, and he went out in the first quarter with some broken ribs.
On the first play?
I think it was the first
play from scrimmage? That's tough. Ouch.
It still managed to give me almost 3 points.
Wow, that's better than nothing.
Better than nothing, I guess. And then in my other league, I had Devontae Adams, and y'all saw the vicious hit he took. And that was a dirty hit to me.
Yeah, man. I think Trevathan needs to get suspended for that.
He got 2 games.
He got 2 games? Okay, yeah. 2's, yeah.
Two still, to
that's
me.
tough. And he's not appealing, I assume, right? Because
I don't think he should.
There's no way. Yeah, that was horrible. And I imagine he's getting a big fine. Yeah, I should have kept up more with that. But
I'm glad Adams still got me a few points before he went out, too. But
that's tough, dude.
From worse, though, at least from what I'm reading so far, is that Adams should be okay. He is in the concussion protocol, so right now he's week to week. And then Ty Montgomery, I thought it was going to be a little bit worse, but they said with the flag jacket, he might be playing, sooner than a lot of people think. So.
And then their backup running back also got hurt.
Yeah, then the backup running back, the rookie went in there, and he got hurt.
Williams,
he something with his ankle, he twisted or sprained his ankle or something.
Wow.
So got a call coming in. Good morning. Who do we have on the line today?
What's happening?
Good morning, fellas. Rafita calling in from Tyler, Texas. Aquí nomás. ¿Qué pasó, compadre?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Are you sad?
Hey, man. Thank y'all for holding the fort down.
Well, it's good, bro.
Mr. Juiceman
It's not
himself.
the same without you here. How you hanging in there? I see that you're
Hey, man, I'm doing great. I want to thank everybody who's tuning in so far. I got to make sure I call in at least like 17 times.
All right.
But I do want to touch in on I have a rant to go on.
Okay.
If you're lazy like me, don't play anybody that plays on Sunday mornings, because if they're out, you get a goose egg. Pinche Willie Sneed, cabrón.
Fat goose
How are you
egg.
going to pull a hamstring and you haven't even played a game?
He put a big.
He pulled a hammy.
He got a big Homer Simpson donut.
He didn't stretch. Yeah. Ouch, dude.
But,
that's gonna hurt.
yeah.
So what is this going on? What are you trying to get approved through the league? That's what I'm kind of
Nothing.
curious.
Nothing. I already talked to Carlos. He's got his players not doing too well either.
Okay.
So Thomas is not catching too much.
Bro,
I told him it's gonna be more embarrassing when he loses to a guy who's 0-3 with a goose egg.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. I think you sound pretty optimistic.
Very optimistic.
But I like
bro.
your spirit, buddy.
I like you holding
Never
down
ever
that
quit,
last place,
man.
Never ever quit, buddy. Like the
Unlike the Rangers, I still have a chance.
Yeah, the Rangers are out of there. R.I.P. Rangers.
We'll
might
let
as
you
well
keep
get that
holding
out of the way.
holding on to last place.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you're only like a loss away.
First waiver
It's okay.
claim.
Hey, I already told everybody. I think I wear a size extra large moo dress. I think I'm gonna be the one fucking. Excuse me. I'll be the one holding that sign up at Chicago.
With the moo dress.
All right, we'll have it ready for you with the chunk.
All right, man. Y'all have a good show.
You too, bro.
The game on Thursday was great.
Yeah,
it was stupid. Redskins, Mensos. I'm gonna keep watching.
Are you awake yet, man? What Redskins
The
game?
game
Talking about?
was
The game was
against-
Packers and the Bears, man.
I just yeah. I'm like halfway there. I'm trying to like listen and talk.
Yeah, go back to
I
sleep,
don't.
man.
No, hombre.
This guy.
All right, I'll let y'all get to it.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Wow.
We need a better caller next time.
Yeah, let's stay on your A game, callers. All right. Well, we pretty much covered the Green Bay game.
Yeah, I mean there was. I mean you know
Rodgers. Oh yeah. We didn't even
He
talk
didn't.
about
He
Rodgers.
didn't throw for a lot of yards, but he did have 4 touchdowns. I think that was more on the
If you're a fantasy enthusiast, then you're happy with that.
then you're happy with that.
Okay.
Receiving wise,
we got another
we got
call.
another caller. Huh? Busy this morning. What's going on? Who's on the phone today?
What up, though?
What's
What up?
bro?
What up?
What's going down? It's that crazy
Mr.
Rafa mechanic on the line, baby.
What's up, dude?
It's the
How you doing,
411
bro?
from back in the day.
Hey, bro. What's up, man?
What's going down,
It's good to see
man?
you, homeboy.
Shit, just checking out y'all video, man, showing some love, support to my players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big shout out to the Cowboy fans all around.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. How you
You
feeling
ready for
about
the game or what?
Yeah. Finna go probably somewhere go watch this game, man. How's y'all doing on that side?
We're doing good, bro. We're getting ready for the game too. I got my Dak jersey on. I'm hoping he has a big day. Zeke should have a big day from
Right.
the Rams
Yeah,
defense
it's going
giving up a lot
down.
of.
I think it's going to
rushing
be a
yards.
good shootout though, because the Rams' offense is the number 1 offense in the league so far. So
You worried about the Rams at all, Rafa?
Man, I ain't worried about them, dog. We're going to take care of this. We're going to do it. We're going to make it do what it does.
All right,
Prende la vela.
appreciate
Prende la vela.
We'll put it on for you, bro.
right.
Already.
All right, man. Hey,
appreciate you
big
tuning
shout
in,
out to
man.
y'all, man. Y'all keep up the good job, bro.
Thanks, bro. We definitely will. Thanks.
So
All right, man.
all right. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into the Cowboys.
Might
That's
as
what,
well,
you know,
bro.
most of the people are waiting on is the
Yeah, it's a
Cowboys.
12 o'clock
so
game, so we finally
12
get
o'clock,
one
we get
early.
one of them early games.
Get
They
it
don't
in.
have a lot of 12 o'clock games.
No,
this
we're
season.
prime time. That's
we're prime
why.
time, man. You know, we
Yeah,
stay
prime
keeping
time,
the
baby.
ratings up. So
Yeah. So
we got the Rams. Like
Yeah.
I was saying, we
They're
are
the number.
facing the number.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Number 1 offense.
You
so
great minds think alike. We were about to say that Jared Goff is for real. He's legit.
they're kind of doing the 2016 Cowboys this year as far as like, you know, their quarterback, running back, you know, youngsters, you know, they got a solid, well, the difference is they do have a pretty good, solid defense, and their offense is turning up the last couple of weeks.
Gurley.
Yeah, Gurley's been, you
Dominant.
know, he had a sophomore slump last year, but it looks like he's got it together this year, and I think the passing game is what's been helping him. Watkins had a good game before he had a concussion last week, so that's somebody to look out for. I did end up, as much as I hated, I did play him in my fantasy league because, you know, I didn't have a better option, but Our corners have been getting burnt. Hopefully, I mean, I don't care if he doesn't produce if the Cowboys shut him down. I'd be good with it.
Goff spreads the ball around. I mean, they got Robert Woods, they got Cooper Kupp, and then they got Gurley coming out of the backfield.
Been a good little pickup for them in the draft.
He's been solid. He's been a deep waiver, or not a waiver pick, but a deep sleeper pick for everybody. He's been producing. He's been pretty consistent. So I'm worried about the Rams' offense against our defense today. I mean, our defense did better last week, but against the Cardinals, when DeMarcus Lawrence was getting a lot of sacks, so we're gonna need a lot of sacks today.
Yeah, we need him to step up. I want to see something from Taco, man. I ain't heard from Taco
we haven't
all
heard
season.
from him at all. Yeah,
So,
Sean Lee is out today, so that's gonna be a big deal.
But I didn't have. We got Jalen Smith.
Jalen Smith.
He's been consistent. He hasn't made a lot of just plays that you're like, but he's consistent. He's one of our top tacklers on the defensive side right now.
Yeah.
So he tackles.
He's struggling in passing protection. They're taking him out in passing protection, so that's something that he's gonna have to work on. And I think a lot of that has to do with his injury and stuff too. They want to make sure that he's ready for that. But today he's going to be tested with Sean Lee being out, so we're going to lean on him more and Justin Durant.
Our young corners has been stepping up. Jordan Lewis last week, man.
Physical. I love
Jordan
Lewis,
they are. Man, open field tackling.
Yes.
That is one thing we've needed because we've been burned on those corners too many times.
Big time.
And he can tackle, man.
Yeah.
He's a tackling machine.
And Byron Jones was getting it in
Byron
last
Jones,
week too. So
yes.
Should be a good matchup. I think they're going to give us a close game. Who do you have? It's
going to be, to me, an exciting game. I mean, at the same time, the Rams gave up, 39 points to the 49ers. So, they're beatable. I think the Cowboys will get it at least by 7.
You think so? I think so, too, at least by a touchdown. I could see a pretty high-scoring game in this one. For me, both offenses going off and showing – and all of the fantasy guys
some exciting
producing too. I think Dez would be a good start today. Zeke, of course, should be going off. Witten, how do you feel about him? He had a quiet game last week.
A very quiet game last week, but you can't ever count Witten out. He's he's going to go out there and do what he's supposed to do, and if he's open, he'll make the catch. That's one thing you don't have to worry about. Him having a bad game last week and not having a good game the next week. He can have a good game at any time. So. I think they were focusing on him a little bit last week because they knew that he's the one that saves Dak a lot of the times where he can't find an open receiver. So we'll see.
And we haven't had we've had Butler or any of our wide receiver twos. Beasley hasn't really gone off too much. Or Terrence Williams, so it's kind of hard to. I wouldn't pick anybody else.
Terrence Williams did make some key plays so far, though.
But as far as like fantasy wise, I wouldn't touch no other Cowboys really, pretty much, right? I mean, they've been solid. They've been catching clutch catches. And
when
stuff,
Witten being quiet last week, I think it had a lot to do also with the Cardinals' defense because their safeties is really good. So.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson and Dez was a great matchup to watch. It was awesome.
That play though with Dez where he dragged 5 people across.
Props to Dez. We kind of bashed him the week before, and that day before. Earlier that day or that show before, and he stepped up. He carried people in there. That was awesome.
He
big
helped
time.
Me stay in there.
And I was gonna say shout out to him and Tank Lawrence too for being defensive player of the week. 6.5 sacks already. He's leading the league in sacks. And guys are giving me crap about praising Clowney and saying, he might be one of the defensive player of the year candidates. And he might be.
I mean, if he can keep up this pace, I think they was one of only so many players that gotten this many sacks in the first 3 games of the season.
That's awesome.
So
he's on the awesome pace.
He's on an awesome pace, man. And we weren't even expecting nothing from him this year.
Yeah, or any of our defensive
we've seen flashes of him doing this, but he had the back injury last year. And then, he hasn't really lived up to the hype that he was supposed to be having when we let DeMarcus Ware go with this DeMarcus.
Right.
But this year he has really paid dividends so far.
Yeah, and even go ahead. I was just going to say, speaking of DeMarcus Ware, he said he saw flashes of himself looking at him, so that's high praise from a Cowboys legend, future Hall of Famer right there, saying that he saw himself and seeing that, and exactly. He knows what he's talking about, so I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see him play. Crawford was making some plays. There was a lot of their defensive line was doing good. Demontre Moore is doing well.
Back. Not to mention after this week we'll get David Irvin back for week 5.
Ooh,
so that's gonna help. That's gonna solidify that line. So don't count our defense out just yet, man. They're doing better than a lot of people gave them credit for. we got a bunch of youngsters that are stepping up that people didn't think they were going to be able to handle it, and they're stepping up.
Yeah, that's good, man. I think the Cowboys are going to win.
It's going to be a good test for them against the Rams and that offense that they got. So
Definitely. And then there is a game going on right now, New Orleans and Miami.
Not much going on.
0-0 last I checked. I saw Jay Cutler had an interception. Drew Brees wasn't doing much. So on that game, do you have anybody starting?
Not in that game.
I know we had a question about Kamara versus Peterson from Jacob on our Facebook page, and we said go with Kamara, and I noticed he already had 5 catches and 40 yards. He's steady in PPR. Willie Snead didn't play today, which Ugo was talking about. Yeah. He was a last-minute scratch coming off suspension. So Kamara got an uptick on
looks
catches.
Like the Saints got a field goal, so it's 3-0.
3-0. Well, that's
at halftime.
Okay, at halftime. So that sounds like
much
a snoozer.
Going on.
Yeah, another
I don't
great
think
game.
neither one of them are used to that travel to London, man.
Yeah.
Those London games can be fatiguing just to travel over there.
Right.
If you haven't done it or you're not used to it, like the Jags are. Yeah. I mean, they showed out last week, man. Shout out to the Jags.
Yeah, the Jags, that's pretty much their home team, or home environment. But a lot of the expert shows I've been watching all weekend, or in general, they say try not to start the guys that are going out there to London because of the time difference and the production is hard to call.
There's a lot of fantasy implications in this game.
Of course, with Breeze, Cutler. Oh, yeah.
You got Jarvis Landry. You have Coleman from the not Coleman, but Michael Thomas from the Saints.
Right, Devontae Parker. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody played Ingram, but
yeah, I'm sure you. And these days, with the way the running backs are getting hurt, I'm sure there's a lot of people starting Ingram out there.
So there's a lot of fantasy implications and not a lot going on in this game.
Good luck, guys.
It
Sorry
helps
about
me.
that.
I was playing against in both leagues against somebody that had a Miami player.
Right.
Parker so far has only got like 6 points. And then I think Ajayi hasn't got much more than that, so
yeah,
it's helping me. So
that's good. Yeah, I'm going against Breeze in one of my leagues. He's got about 3 whole points, so that's.
I don't know. Miami had a little glimpse. They beat the Chargers, and then after that, they haven't looked too hot.
New Orleans defense is supposed to be bad, terribly bad. Start everybody against their defense bad, and Cutler already has an interception. So,
and today
what does that say about Cutler?
And today they're pitching a shutout.
Yeah, a shutout against Cutler. So yeah, that's what it is.
But you know what? It's been a weird season in the NFL so far, man. To me, like, it's been one of those you can't really call everything like you normally would be able, like, oh, for sure this team's gonna, you don't know what you're gonna
I'm sure
get.
It's been rough on Vegas out there too,
right?
There's been a lot of.
Well, in Vegas, the house always wins.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Next game, Buffalo and Atlanta. That's actually gonna be probably a better matchup than what I would have thought at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo's defenses, man, they've been solid.
Legit, yeah, they've been tough.
Their offense, they don't have a lot of stars, but they've been keeping up with good teams. You know what I mean? So they played against last week. Who was it they upset?
I'm not sure. I know.
Yeah, Denver.
Denver.
That was a big upset,
They shut down Simeon. Simeon didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, Simeon came in there riding on his high horse from,
like the MVP.
Looking like he was the MVP, and bam.
Yeah.
Reality check. Y'all ain't as good as y'all thought.
Yeah.
So, I mean, y'all beat on the Cowboys. I give y'all that, but y'all are definitely beatable. So,
yeah. For sure.
Buffalo is a better team than people give them credit for right now, but they'll always find ways to lose too. So
yeah, it's gonna be good. Tyrod Taylor is good. He's he can run too, and they're gonna be indoor in Atlanta.
I have Devontae Freeman in my lineup, and I'm scared because Buffalo defense doesn't give up a lot of yards.
Shady McCoy, I'd like to see him going in.
And we got another caller calling in. Good morning. Who we got on the line today?
What's up, Big Manny?
What's
your
up,
opponent,
man?
Brother?
The loser of the week.
Yeah. What's up, Jason?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, bro?
Not looking too hot so far, man.
Well, I mean, you started talking about fantasy. You know, don't worry about Montgomery. You know how my team goes.
Yeah, I got you. I don't know. I think you're a little bit of my kryptonite in the Injustice League, man. I ain't gonna lie, but I think I still have even with Montgomery going down, I still have a pretty good chance of beating you. So you could always hope for the best, right?
Everybody does.
Right.
So, but no, I get Julius Thomas in this game. It's been pretty terrible. Ajayi, I figured Ajayi going back to London, his hometown.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not
That's
doing
where
anything.
He was born. So
The tea and crumpets didn't work, huh?
Nope, not yet. They're still the second half. So.
Yeah, definitely.
It is the New Orleans defense, right?
Yeah, it seems. I mean, even Jacksonville though, a lot. Like if you think about those games, they produce a lot in the second half. So I think. Hopefully they'll both light it up in the second half for fantasy.
We'll see what kind of adjustments they make at half.
Like Jacksonville, if you think about it though, a lot of the games they've been in later on, like just over time, they've done a lot in the second half. So hopefully that'll help, bro.
Well, both offenses are good offenses, you know. So
yeah, they both have a lot of playmakers on their.
How did Cutler throw an interception to that sorry defense?
Yeah, they're both sorry defenses for the most part.
Yeah,
Miami's got a good front. So I think both teams will light it up a little bit.
I got you. I hope so, bro. Good luck, man.
I'm not hoping so. I need your players to stay
right
where
they're
at.
You're going down.
Yeah, man. And props to you, bro, for being in the top 3 in the pick'em.
Yeah, it's been tough. Like you guys were just saying,
it's been a weird season,
NFL's
right?
been weird this year. So
it has, bro. Yeah. It's been hard to call. My picks suck, but I'm trying. But props to you. Manny's tied with you. Man. And we have Modelo, which is Fredo, and then Nick Ubba is in second. Or tied with you guys. So y'all are all pretty much 3-way tie for second. And then Des Nuts, Andy Kill It, But Don't Juice Me, our own juice. Wow, there's Kush Gordon, DK, all of them are tied for third. Wow, so I stand corrected. But you guys are all tied for second, you and Manny, so keep it up, go, guys.
Right. See how it shakes out, man.
Cool, man.
Well, I
appreciate the call,
I hope
bro.
you take the L today. So
we need you on the show one day, Jay.
I'm not gonna wish you good luck.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, bro, you're not too far from us, so we'll figure it out, man. You can come in, and give us some hot takes. Yeah. Tell Miss Halle Berry what's up. Tell the champ what's up. We're coming for her.
I need my trophy back.
Hey, she's still messing up for the games later. So.
Yeah, just so y'all know, Jason's wife is the champ, Miss Halle Berry. Yeah, so Jason's wife beat him,
women
me,
can't play fantasy football.
And everybody else in our league.
She took my trophy, man.
That's awesome.
She loves it, man. She polishes that trophy once a week, you know.
Lets you know.
Tell her to post a picture of it on the page, man.
All right, yeah. Yeah, we will.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Good morning, man. Good luck, man. Hope you beat Manny.
Hey, me too. Bye, guys.
Oh, man.
All right. So we were on Buffalo with Atlanta. How do you see Matt Ryan doing with Buffalo?
I think temper expectations. I think he's going to do okay, but good defenses have known to get. I think he'll throw at least a pick to them.
Julio Jones, big game.
Same. I think he'll be productive, but him in those touchdowns. Yeah, is he allergic to the end zone?
I don't know, man.
For real, he's turning. Like I heard on the show, they said he's turning into Andre Johnson. I think that's an interesting point because Andre Johnson always get 100 yards,
but
wouldn't score a touchdown. 100, 150 yards, get you the catches, but doesn't score the touchdowns. So if I'm a Jones owner, I would think maybe I would maybe temper expectations. I'd say maybe like 17 points in a PPR league. What do you think? 15?
I say like 16,
17 points.
So do you think him not scoring touchdowns is more of them focusing on him in the red zone? Or
I think that they got two legit running backs. They got Devonta Freeman in the red zone right there. And Tevin Coleman.
Yeah, because Freeman's been one of the top running backs. I'm glad I drafted him in both my leagues.
You can count on him to go throw it in or to run it in, or Coleman if you need a short screen and get it in there. I think
especially
those are
PPR
handicapping him.
They both run and catch. So.
Yeah, even Sanu, he's a big guy. He takes
that's why I didn't even want to take a chance. And then Justice League, I did cuff Freeman with Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman's legit too. I mean, he's a good. He'll
flex
be.
Spot.
You don't have to worry about him during the bye weeks. You can plug him in and feel comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So I think they'll be okay, but I think they will score less than they have normally done at home. Just due to Buffalo's defense, but I think Atlanta will still win this game.
Atlanta was pretty hot last week, so
yeah,
they looked good last week. So
yeah, definitely. Then the next game, Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
They're playing in Baltimore
on the road.
Pittsburgh didn't look hot last week. They got beat also.
Yeah, Big Ben on the road is not a guaranteed thing. You don't know if he's going to be able to put up those big numbers. These games are always close, 10-13 type of games. I would go with Pittsburgh, but Baltimore's defense started off strong, and they were doing really well in the beginning. I could see them getting to Big Ben and causing some havoc and maybe get an interception, a turnover or two. Of course, you're going to have to start Brown.
What I want to look
Antonio
at is,
Brown.
you know, how bad of a hang-up is Baltimore going to have after that whooping they got in London last week.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, a whooping like that can, you know, push into the next week.
Yeah.
And with Pittsburgh coming off that overtime loss to Chicago, I think they're going to be a little hungry. To me, Baltimore's got the better defense, but Flacco last week looked terrible, man.
He did. He looked real bad.
So Pittsburgh, they're not bad at defense. They have a mediocre or at least a solid defense, but their offense, I don't think Baltimore can hold them off the whole game.
Yeah.
If Flacco throws an interception or two, it might just be the difference in the game.
Yeah, they don't have many weapons on the outside, many receiving threats. I know their running back games are okay.
To be, I got him on my roster. I'm getting close to not knowing if I'm just going to drop him.
He's not going to play, or you don't know if he's going to play today.
Well, he's playing, but I just don't. I mean, he hasn't produced.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I mean, he had one game where he went off. Then the next game he got saved, but he got a touchdown. But he really didn't do nothing in that game, which was last week.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know what he's going to do this week. He hasn't just been like what you would think.
Their whole offense has been suspect, right?
Yeah, their running game. They have a running back by committee thing going over there. So. Buck Allen's been good. Terrence Wynn's been okay. I don't know. I just don't see him beating Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's going to be a close one, though. I think, division game, the history that they have with each other with Pittsburgh and Baltimore, it'll make it an interesting game. But I just don't see Baltimore having enough on offense to get by Pittsburgh.
I don't either. How do you feel about Le'Veon Bell in that game?
Man, he's been having a slow start to the season.
Right?
I think it had a lot to do with him missing training camp.
Yeah.
The training camp, people don't realize like how much conditioning you get during training camp. Like it's running all day, working out, going to meetings, it makes a big difference on everything you absorb during training camp. That's the time to make your mistakes and learn from your mistakes and get things together, get that chemistry going. It makes a big difference to me when you miss training camp. At least on the offensive side.
Yeah, he's been struggling. So I don't think he's gonna have a big day today. Baltimore's defense isn't the defense to just get started going against. To me, Brown, I'm a little worried about him, but. I mean, I think he's still going to produce like a top tier receiver.
Martavis Bryant?
I think he's going to do okay. I think he just needs one play. He's one of those dudes like Brandon Cooks. He just needs one big play from Big Ben. And like I've said before, Big Ben loves to show off the arm. I think he's going to try at least one deep. If he can connect with I think he'll be okay. I think he'll get you like 10 points, which is if you're having it rough like a lot of us are, then that might be good enough for you. Yeah, you might have to roll with him. I'd roll with him as a flex or maybe a wide receiver too, but if I have to, but hopefully I have some better options, but at least a flex, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So moving on into that same division, we got Cincinnati and Cleveland, which is the bottom half of that division.
Yeah, the battle of the 0-3.
Right, the battle of the 0-3. So who gets their first win this week?
I say Cincinnati.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati had a terrible start to the season, but they did show some good flashes against one of the top teams in Green Bay. They had a chance at beating them. They did let Rodgers do what Rodgers does and come back and beat them.
Right.
But
their offense came to life. Yeah, they woke up.
Their offense came to life. I think they're starting to realize they need to get Mixon more involved.
Oh, for sure. I was just about to say that. My eyes lit up. Joe Mixon is the truth, and they got everybody else out of the way and let him do what he needs to do. Jeremy Hill doesn't look the same. Gio Bernard is what he is, but Mixon is the truth. He can be an every down back.
Yeah.
AJ Green finally produced like AJ Green should produce. Dalton, I had to go pick him up on the waiver wire because of quarterback issues, but he actually looked like he woke up, and hopefully they keep producing, and they should today against Cleveland. I know
Kaiser's look good for Cleveland. He did make some mistakes last week. I just think, Cincinnati's defense is strong.
I'm starting them today,
so
I'm hoping they tee off on the rookie.
Their running game in Cleveland hasn't really produced much over there. Their wide receivers haven't really done nothing. I picked up Higgins, off the waiver wire thinking he was going to do something. He had a flash, and he's been dropped, just to let you know.
Yeah, the running game hasn't been too much. I mean, Crowell last year was a stud pretty much a two-down back, but he was producing in the red zone, and this year he's not doing it all. He's been very
Johnson
quiet.
hasn't really.
Yeah, he hasn't done much either
unless you're in
PPR.
And he hasn't really just blown me away.
Yeah, he's their lead back supposedly, but he doesn't get more touches. So it's a confusing situation in their backfield. Their whole offense is just not that good. I don't see them being able to beat Cincinnati with their defense full of veterans. I don't think they can do that.
Dalton having a good game?
Dalton? Yeah, I think so. I think he's at least 3 touchdowns.
They do have Eifert out.
Yeah, Eifert's out.
Eifert's out. So we'll see how that affects him.
Yeah. But I think they'll still do okay. He always ends up. Yeah, I think they will. He always ends up throwing touchdowns to random guys like LaFell. You never know, but I think since he's got that one under control today, they better get their first win.
So another divisional game we got. And this one looks to be a good one. Tennessee and Houston.
Ooh.
Man, Tennessee's been on the roll.
Yeah.
They're coming up to what people thought they were supposed to be this season as far as one of the top teams, one of the most improved teams.
Yeah, Mariota started a little slow, but he's starting to pick back up. He's starting to get Rashard Matthews has been a good weapon out there for them.
Murray's starting to get healthy.
Yeah, their running game. Yeah, Murray doesn't do well. Then you got Henry, and then Murray back again. So either way, they're good with their offensive line. I picked up their defense to play against Watson today, but Watson was doing good, but he has thrown some interceptions, made some rookie mistakes also. So I'm hoping that maybe that helped or that plays into a factor. Their defense has been doing pretty solid.
You see, Houston
compared to what they were last year. Houston's defense is legit too, so they are going to slow down their offense.
I was trying to maybe pick up somebody because I'm scared of what Tennessee's offense will do, but I'm just going to go ahead and roll with Houston's defense because they scored points even against New England, which is one of the top producing offenses too. But it's still kind of scary for Tennessee's offense has been rolling the last 2 weeks.
It's going to be good matchups. Their line is known as one of the best lines, and they're going against Clowney and J.J. Watt. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works out and see if they can protect Mariota all day. He's coming off an injury, and you don't want to see him get hurt out there with those two guys coming at him.
Watson's been getting better every week.
Yeah, he really has. Props to him. He tore up the Patriots' defense last week.
Yeah,
he was a big waiver wire ad, and it deserves to be that way because he was playing really good. He looked like he did in Clemson. Right. So he's doing his thing that he was doing in college and the NFL. It's awesome. It's outstanding. He might be a candidate for Rookie of the Year.
Right.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of rivalry matchups today as far as in the division. Next one we got up Detroit and Minnesota. Man, both of the teams have been playing better than people gave them credit for too. Right. Well, I did put the Lions in the playoffs at the beginning of the season, so I did tell you the Lions were going to be doing good, which they're doing better than I thought, but they're still doing really good. So
yeah, Detroit's defense is one of the top defenses in the league.
They got Slay over
there now. Yeah, big play Slay. He's been doing good. Stafford has been spreading the ball around. Golden Tate has been solid all year. Mir Abdullah's stepped up this year.
He's doing decent. Not fantasy wise, he hasn't been having a lot of big games, but they keep their offense, balanced for the most part.
Yeah, they spread it out. Ebron's a weapon.
Been working for his check, man. He's been getting his money's worth.
Marvin Jones has been getting his too. So Detroit's good. Who did you pick in that one?
I did pick Detroit to win this one.
I picked Detroit too, just because I like Stafford and what they're doing. I know Keenum went off last week, but I'm still not a big believer in Chase Keenum as a starter full time. I think Slay and their defense will get at least one interception or two on him today.
It could be tilted either way. Minnesota does have Dalvin Cook too, man. He's been having a good season so far.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
Shout out to the rookie class of this year, man. They've been having some players. Kareem Hunt, with him, Dalvin Cook's been legit.
Breaking records, he's breaking rookie records and doing so. He's getting catches. He's doing a little bit of everything. He's a 3-down back. For sure. Do you have
is tough too,
and Stephon Diggs? He's been doing pretty good, even with Keenum.
Oh yeah, Stephon Diggs had a blowout game.
Yeah, he did. He had an awesome game. I do regret not getting him in the trade, but it's all good. It's all good. He's definitely one that people are going to be starting today. Cook for sure with confidence. I would start. Stafford. Stafford might be somebody you might want to bench, right? Right. A lot of people are going to be benching him just because.
I went with Winston against the Giants.
And Detroit's receivers, Golden Tate, I might have some hesitation just because he's going against Xavier Woods and that defense of Minnesota. So that's good. And my bad, but on the Tennessee-Houston game, we didn't pick any.
The winner, I'm gonna roll with Tennessee, man.
Tennessee, okay, cool. I picked Houston in this game just because of the defense. I think they're gonna win this game, and because it's at home. And Hopkins, I would start Hopkins. He's been doing pretty good.
Where did Chat go?
Oh well. That's all good. Okay. So, yeah. Excuse us, but my bad. So, and then back to the Minnesota and Detroit game. You picked Detroit, you said?
Yeah, I got Detroit winning.
Okay, cool. Yeah, me too. So, yeah. And then Carolina, New England.
Carolina, New England. I don't know, man. Carolina's a tough team to know what they're gonna come out and do every week. Like, you don't know. They were supposed to be getting back on track this year. They started okay at the beginning of the season, and then injuries has been plaguing them.
Yeah.
They haven't looked hot, man.
Yeah,
Cam
Kelvin
Newton,
Benjamin.
he's been getting dropped in leagues.
Right, I dropped him personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been unpredictable. They should have went off against the Saints defense last week,
And they didn't.
And they didn't. They didn't do that. So I dropped him quick. Yeah, like you said, Olsen's been hurt. Or Olsen got hurt,
Olsen's
and Benjamin's
out,
out. Yeah, so
Well, Benjamin is I think he's going to end up playing.
he's gonna
today.
play. So he
but
got
I wasn't
hurt.
scared they got.
Yeah, he's always
Cam
hurt
Newton
though.
got hurt, and
He's
he's
injury
supposed to
prone.
be good to go today too. But we'll see. What Carolina team shows up. New England, New England does what New England does. They're going to be good at every week. But they haven't looked beatable all season.
Yeah, their defense is definitely beatable. Watson tore him up. Alex Smith tore him up. So you would think Carolina has opportunity, but I don't trust their offense. And then Brady, of course, you saw him last week come back when everything was against them, and he basically won them the game. So
yeah, Gronk, it's still Gronk. He can have a good game or a great game at any time. So
yeah,
I don't know. He's been kind of quiet, but he's had some good game. Last week he did good.
Yeah.
But he's still been kind of quiet.
New England's running game is hard to predict. Gillislee hasn't been doing much.
He's he has one good game, then he doesn't do nothing.
And Burkhead's out, right? Or I believe he's out. He's been hurt. I know that. James White hasn't really been producing too much. Cooks has been doing pretty good, so I'll roll with Cooks.
Yeah.
In that game, but I definitely think New England's gonna win. They're favored by 8.5 points.
Yeah, I see Brady doing what he does, getting his fantasy points. I see them winning, but it might be. I don't know whether they'll cover the spread. Well, I don't know, because Carolina still has a pretty solid defense, but
yeah, they do have a good defense. I think they'll get out of hand. I mean, Brady's been throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
I think he'll do his thing, and it's gonna get out of hand.
It's not a game
there.
I'm really too excited about. I don't really have no players in that one.
No. Speaking of that, let's go to Jacksonville and New York Jets.
Right, Jacksonville, New York Jets.
Yeah.
The
Jets.
Jets.
Blah. Yeah.
They did get a win. So
the Jets, yeah. McCown is okay. He's not the best quarterback, but I mean he does okay. He's not scared to throw. Yeah, he's not scared to throw. He's been getting out there. I know Curse has been doing okay. Last week was a big Austin Safari-Jenkins game. He made his debut,
I think Forte's
so that
out for
help
today.
open. Yeah,
So Bilal Powell will probably have a good game.
Yeah, that's a big step up.
As far as
they lost
fantasy
Forte.
goes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess I would start Powell against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's defense is pretty good though, but just because of opportunities, Jacksonville.
How many interceptions did they have last week?
I don't know. They had a lot. Their defense
was 3
was crazy.
interceptions I think last week. It was crazy.
And Bortles actually looked pretty good, like the quarterback that Jacksonville's been waiting for, and we've seen flashes of it sometimes. Do you think he's going to go off today?
I think he'll have a decent game. I don't see him just having a blowout game like he did against Baltimore.
Yeah, the Jets.
I think they had a lot to do more with them playing in London.
Yeah.
So I think they'll beat the Jets with ease, but I don't see it just being a blowout.
Right. It's still Blake Bortles. He'll probably still throw, at least find a way to throw an interception or two.
Or something.
Yeah.
I think at least giving them a chance to stay in the game for a little while. So.
Yeah. I'm excited. I have Fournette in that game, so I'm excited about him. He's been solid.
I got Allen Hurns.
He's been scoring me about 17 points a game in PPR league, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
so
ever since Robinson went out, Hurns has been serviceable. He's been good. He's put up at least double-digit points so far.
That's good. He stepped up. That's what he should do. He's the vet on that team. He should be there. He knows the offense in and out. He should be one of those. Or he should be relied upon.
So I definitely think Jacksonville will get this one. I don't see the Jets beating them. Not the way that Jacksonville's playing this year.
Yeah,
they have a legitimate running game this year with Fournette, which they haven't had they've tried different running backs over the last couple of seasons, and they finally have a solid running back.
Yeah, definitely. He's legit. There's all these Rookie of the Year candidates, but he's definitely one that stands out too. The way he's able to carry the offense and set the tone for the defense. He's able to keep them off the field.
You see Mercedes Lewis doing anything this week like he did last week?
No, not at all. I think that was a fluke game. Yeah, that was a fluke game.
They said that was like his first touchdown since like the second week of last season or something.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
It was crazy. It was like it had been forever since he scored. So
yeah, no, I don't see that.
Shout out to whoever actually played him.
Yeah, I doubt
Nobody.
it. Nobody. Yeah, big time. So, but yeah, I think the Jets handled them easy. Then next game, Arizona and San Fran.
The afternoon games, the late afternoon games. First one up, we got San Francisco and Arizona divisional game again. San Francisco put up 39 points against the Rams. We talked about that earlier. Yeah. Their offense, looks pretty good, but Arizona's defense is going to be tough.
Yeah, I think
the Cowboys had a tough start to their defense with their offense against Arizona in the first half. We did come back, but San Francisco, with it being a divisional game, they know Arizona. I think it'll be an interesting game the way San Francisco played. If they can play like that again this week against Arizona, and it's going to make it very interesting with Arizona's running game not being legitimate anymore without David Johnson.
Not at all, yeah. They got Chris Johnson back there. And
maybe San Francisco stacked the box on Palmer. Like, we were getting to Palmer with three-man rushes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? DeMarcus Lawrence was getting there with three-man rush. So their offensive line is not as good to protecting Palmer, which is what you need when you have Palmer because you get Palmer off rhythm or you get Palmer hurt, and we've seen how that affects the Cardinals.
San Francisco has a good young defense. They've been spending a lot of picks on their defense, so I think they're going to be able to get to him. I think it is going to be a more interesting game than it looks like on the surface. San Francisco Hyde might be hurt also, so that's something to watch out for if he's not 100%. Yeah, he's not 100%.
Right.
So I think Arizona's defense is going to be too much for San Francisco's offense. Pierre Garçon is going to be matched up with Peterson. I think he's going to have Peterson will have a pretty good game against him. I mean,
I give this
Garçon might get a couple catches, but I don't think he's going to go off like he has been doing.
I definitely think Arizona will pull this one off. I think they'll even cover the spread with no problem.
I think so. I'm starting,
but it'll be a good game. It'll be better than what people would. If you were just to look at it and be like, I don't want to watch that game. I think it'll be more interesting than what people would think.
Yeah, definitely. I'm starting Palmer now that I got him from you in the trade that we made in the Chubb League. Yeah, me and Manny had just a quick update. Me and Manny made a trade in the Chubb League. I got Carson Palmer and Delaney Walker. He got Emmanuel Sanders and Ingram. I had Eli starting, and I plugged Palmer right in to go against the San Francisco 49ers defense. Yeah. Jared Goff lit him up earlier in the season, so I think Palmer could do so, or at least have a couple touchdowns. Larry Fitzgerald, big shout out to him. OG still producing. He had a monster game his last game, so hopefully he could keep it up. Yeah, he's one of those guys you don't really ever want to draft, and then you see he's there and you're still not sure. You think he's old and this is the year he's going to fall off, and then next thing you know he has a night like last night.
It helped me.
Game.
I had Russell Wilson. He looks like he's getting it together. He had an awesome game last week, and I was in dire need of a wide receiver because my wide receivers have been my weak point. I have good running backs. I just my receivers weren't doing what they should be doing, so I needed a receiver. I made a trade with a backup quarterback. I'm good with it.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, no, you're going to have a good player in Sanders. Definitely. We'll just talk about the Oakland and Denver game then. Let's go with that one. Sanders should be producing. He's been solid. He's been out-producing Demaryius Thomas, and I got him a lot later in the round. So
he's been consistent.
And he was like that last year, so that's what made me pick him up in both leagues this year. And I was kind of stacked at receivers, and I really had a need at tight end, so that's why I traded him to you. But yeah, I think he's going to go off today. I think Oakland's defense looked terrible. I think him and Demaryius Thomas are going to have nice games today. Yeah. Trevor Siemian should have a nice game today, a bounce back game.
A lot of fantasy implications.
Yeah,
in this
big
game.
time. Crabtree is out today.
Is he?
Yeah, Crabtree is out. So,
and I have Amari Cooper hoping for the best. I know that's going to be tough against Denver.
Yeah,
but with Crabtree out, he might. If they fall behind, he might have a chance.
Yeah, he's going to need some YOLO balls thrown his way because you're going to have to do something because I mean, Seth Roberts, I guess, would be one of their guys. I'm not sure if Andre Holmes. I think Andre Holmes may still be there, but
no, I think he's gone.
Is he gone? So yeah, they're gonna need somebody to step up big time. I don't know. I'm not confident in many of their other
tight
receivers.
End, maybe Cook.
Yeah, Cook he'll have an uptick in.
You see them running the ball consistently with Marshawn?
I see them trying to run the ball, but I'm not sure. He's not. Yeah. He's looking kind of old.
He's looking kind of old, right?
Yeah.
And Zeke struggled against that defense.
Yeah. So yeah,
that run defense is solid, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be starting beast mode with confidence too much. If I could bench him, I might bench him. If I had some depth at running back, but if he's one of your top picks and you have no other choice, I wouldn't expect too much from him. I think maybe like 8 points, maybe. What do you think?
I say he might have. Maybe 8 or 9.
8 or 9 points. Yeah. It's gonna be tough for
Oakland. It just
today
depends on how
Crabtree.
their passing game goes. If they can't get the passing game, they're gonna stack the box.
And Carr, do you start him with confidence against Denver defense? I wouldn't have started him anyway, but then with Crabtree being out, even less.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you see winning this game?
I see Denver winning it.
You think so?
At Denver, yeah, just because how Denver plays at home. Von Miller, I think he'll be able to get to. Carr.
Yeah.
I think
at the beginning of the season, I would have probably gone with Oakland, but now I'm starting to think that Denver might take this one.
Yeah, I think so too. Denver, everybody slept on them going into the season just because of Simeon, but I think with the opportunity against Oakland's defense, he'll be okay. Even C.J. Anderson, I think he'll have an okay game too. They're going to try to keep Oakland's offense off the field.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game to watch, though.
Yeah,
you have definitely a lot of fantasy implications. You have divisional implications. There's a lot of good division games today. I just realized that.
That has to be one of the games of the week, though, especially in that second tier. That's definitely the game of the week in the afternoon.
I think so.
Because then you got
probably from the whole week.
The whole week, pretty much. Yeah.
Is that? I mean, maybe.
No. Yeah,
no, that's probably the game of the week.
Yeah, or Detroit, Minnesota, if you want to count that one.
Yeah.
I mean, those two are probably the top 2 games. But I would say this has to be the top one just because Oakland is out there. Oakland is Oakland. Like everybody, I mean, they're like the Cowboys pretty much, you know. So you either hate them or love them.
We'll see how good their offensive line is against Denver. You know, they're saying that Oakland has, one of the top offensive lines too, but. I mean, look what Washington did to him last week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. The next game, Philadelphia at the Chargers. 0-3 Chargers.
0-3 Chargers against Philadelphia. Philadelphia's top of the division right now by default. We have the same record, but they are at the top of the division. Philadelphia's beatable. Definitely beatable. Their running game, took a loss with Darren Sproles. He tore his ACL and he broke his forearm or something like that with Sproles?
He broke his wrist and his ACL at the same time. Yeah,
so that definitely
in the same
hurts
play. Yeah,
that definitely hurts their running game. He's been one of their most consistent running backs for the last couple of years. We do have Smallwood. They have LeGarrette Blount, but. To me, they can't get their running game going. Their passing game is good, but it's not great. Like Wentz has looked flashy, but they have Alshon Jeffrey, and he's been kind of mediocre.
Yeah, I have him on my team.
I have him too. I had to bench him this week.
Yeah, between him and Aguilar, it's been tough to see. I have to go with him just because now I traded you. But yeah, I have to roll with him against the Chargers, and I'm not feeling too great about it. The Chargers have some good corners. So I think they're going to be able to keep him in check. But I think Aguilar, who's been going off for Philadelphia though, Zach Ertz. He's been getting a lot of catches, a lot of touches, a lot of touchdowns. He's been producing pretty awesome. Good pick to anybody who got him. I think he's going to do good. Yeah, Fredo got him, and I've already tried to trade for him, but now I don't have to do that anymore. But yeah.
I see Philly taking this one.
I think Philly's going to take it too. I think they've been a tougher team, been in winning tough games. The Chargers have been in tough games, but they haven't been winning those tough games. They haven't been able to execute at the end.
Philly got tested last week with the Giants, but they still were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
That was a tough win. I think they gave them a lot of confidence. So they will come in here, riding that confidence. And the Chargers have just looked terrible.
Right. Rivers is an interception machine. Gordon slowed up with injuries. Hunter Henry's been quiet in some games.
He went gold last week.
Gates has been quiet. Yeah, they
Tyrell Williams.
Yeah,
a lot of people said he was going to step up.
Their whole offense has been disappointing. The Chargers, at the Chargers. You would think it would be a home field advantage, but it's not even a home field advantage over there.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd start Keenan Allen. I'd probably start Rivers if I had to.
I bench Williams.
Tyrell Williams. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty much ready to cut him. Allen is
right.
okay.
I'm hoping Carson Wentz goes off so I can use him as trade bait.
Yeah, definitely. So, Aguilar, would you start him?
I think
if you
so.
Had to, at a flex, maybe?
I think so in the flex.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a quiet game last week, but I think he'll do good this week against the Chargers just because the Chargers on offense, if they don't get nothing going, they're going to either turn the ball over or punt.
Yeah, I can see Philadelphia having a big time in possession.
As much as I hate Philly to win because, they're our divisional champs, I have to give credit where credit is due. They're looking good.
Right on.
So
we gotcha. Then we got the Giants in Tampa Bay.
This was very tough to call, man. Because both teams were supposed to be in the top 10 of the rankings coming into the season. They were supposed to both be a force to be reckoned with that could make some noise. Tampa Bay, young team, got some additions to their team. Deshaun Jackson, where he's been at.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be like a very added piece. It was supposed to open it up for Mike Evans, which Mike Evans has been doing good, but you see him last week, he was having a temper tantrum.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's interesting. He was frustrated with Jameis because Jameis kept throwing all those interceptions. So that's not a good look.
He's known to do that, which I hope this week he does because I had no choice but to play him.
Yeah, the Giants' defense is tough. They've been tough, and they actually looked better last week. So Beckham came alive last week. Eli came alive. Ingram, who you have, he's a pretty good weapon. He's been consistent. And Brandon Marshall, who had his first breakout game, he actually made some catches. He hadn't done anything. Sterling Shepard is another weapon. They got a lot of weapons, so I'm going with the Giants in this game just because Tampa Bay's defense looked so bad last week.
I just have to go with Tampa Bay just with them being at home, them coming off that loss last week, terrible loss. I think they're going to get together and really figure some things out. I think they, as a team, that loss last week was disappointing.
Yeah.
I think almost embarrassing almost. So I think they're going to come out and try to do something this week being at home. So
right, and this is the last Jaquiz Rogers game too. So Doug
done.
Martin should help them, help their offense once they come back. I mean, Rogers is okay, but I think he's not Doug Martin. Doug Martin's legit. I think he's better, or he is better than Jaquiz Rogers. So that should help him. But I'm going with the Giants today.
I want the Giants.
I'm starting Evans. I'm a little worried about his matchup, with the Giants secondary, but I have to roll with him. He's still my number one. Yeah, he's still my number one wide receiver, so I have to roll with him. I need them to step up.
I don't know what to do with Marshall, man. Just drop him or
keep him. I would keep him, or if not trade him, I'll take him.
Right.
Yeah, I got him in the trouble. I had to pick him up on the waiver wire. Yeah. He had a good game last week, but I think Beckham being full health and being Beckham is helping everybody, helping the whole offense, big time. So I would confidently start all my Giants today. The running game, Vereen, I really wouldn't touch Perkins either. Any of those guys in the Giants game. Running game I wouldn't touch.
Be non-existent.
Yeah,
then
for sure. And then we got Indianapolis at Seattle. Minus 12.5 on that one. Yeah,
that tells you what this game is going to be.
Pretty much says it all. Seattle's front seven.
The Colts have looked better under Jacoby Brissett. He has made them, a legitimate offense at least compared to Thielen, or not Thielen, but what was his? I don't even remember his name. He's that forgettable, the quarterback for the Colts.
What do you mean?
The one that they benched for Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, Tolzien.
Tolzien, man, he was terrible. So. They looked better under Jacoby Brissett, but I don't see them beating Seattle. Seattle put up big numbers last week on their offensive side. Their running game with Carson is a little better now. Their offensive line is not great, but their offense still produces. Like Russell Wilson finds ways to get out of the pocket and make plays.
Oh, yeah. This should be a big...
Baldwin had a good game.
Yeah.
He got a little dinged up himself, but he should be good to go. Richardson's been playing good. I picked him up in the waiver wire.
Yeah, this should be a good game for the Seattle offense to come out and play and show what they can do and get right against the Colts defense. The Colts defense is not that good. The Seattle should whoop them, I think. Even Carson, this should be a big Chris Carson game. I'm starting him because I think Seattle's defense is going to dominate and control the ball and try to stay up and have a good good running game going. and stay in control of the game and keep Indy off the field. I don't see Indy having a good game at all.
Right.
Brissett did okay, but I don't think he's gonna be able to do much against Seattle. I wouldn't start any Indy players unless I absolutely had to. There's nobody.
I need a monster game from Russell Wilson.
Jack Doyle's been inconsistent. We got T.Y. Hilton going
Jimmy
against
Graham
Legion of
having
Boom.
another good game.
Jimmy Graham, he's
started
been
slow,
good,
but he had a good game.
He's been solid. So I think today he should have a good game against the Colts. Yeah, if he didn't, then it may be time to cut Jimmy Graham because he's had one good game,
right?
In three out of three. Yeah. So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that one. The Monday night game,
Washington, Kansas City. That's gonna be a good game, man. Washington tore up Oakland, being one of the top teams in the league. Oakland, and they just went in there and got mollywopped by Washington, man.
Yeah.
So Kansas City's been on the roll. We definitely didn't give Kansas City credit, to be doing what they're doing now. I did put them in the playoffs. I didn't have them winning their division or anything, but right now they're a strong push, to winning the division, depending on how they do when they play Denver. But man, Kansas City on the offensive side has been fantasy glory.
Kareem Hunt, he's been the MVP
Tyreek
so
Hill,
far.
They got Alex Smith looking like a top quarterback. You know what I mean?
Kelsey's been up and down a little bit for his draft position, but yeah, overall their offense has been a lot better.
Shout out to their defense last week.
Yeah, their defense is good. That's going to be tough for Kirk Cousins to be able to do his thing against them. On the other side, Chris Thompson has been awesome, getting few touches and being able to produce and get a lot of yards and touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep it up against Kansas City. I know Rob Kelly's supposed to come back, so their run game has been kind of suspect. I'm going with Kansas City in this game just because of how they looked and because of their defense.
I'm going with Kansas City. They're the number one team to me right now. They're the team to beat right now.
Yeah.
They're at home, which everybody knows, Arrowhead. Jason will tell you all about it. He's a big-time Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Sure, yeah.
We have Jerry. He's a Chiefs fan. Man, y'all know how difficult it is to win in Arrowhead. That's one of the toughest stadiums to play in, just like in Seattle. I don't see Washington. Washington can follow up a good game with a terrible game. They've been known to do that.
Yeah, their defense looked pretty good last week. It's going to be interesting to see Josh Norman versus Tyreek Hill. I have Hill, and I'm debating on starting him. I'm thinking I'm going to bench him just because Norman is dominant. He's a shutdown corner, and we've seen what he can do against Dez every week. Or against when he's played Dez and shut down a lot of top tier receivers. So I think that's going to be interesting. I think I'm going to have to sit Hill in that one, but overall I think Kansas City is going to roll.
Yeah, I have Kansas City's defense playing and starting, so I think they'll take care of Washington at home.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait for these games, man.
Right, it's gonna be some really great divisional games that are the divisional games are the most important ones to win in the division. So it's gonna be interesting to see how these teams match up this week in the division. But I'm ready to enjoy some of this football today, and that takes us over to where all the players come from, the college football. There wasn't a lot going down this week in the top 25 as far as college football. There was a lot of blowouts.
Like as far as upsets go, right?
It wasn't just like anybody that you'd be like, oh man, they got upset. Maybe LSU, they were number 25. They're definitely going to be dropping out of the top 25 now. After that upset to Troy.
Yeah, 21-24 to Troy. Yeah, that's tough. LSU, they're one of the big programs in the SEC. That's unacceptable for LSU. So to lose to Troy, that's embarrassing.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely embarrassing. That's a big loss.
There was just a bunch of blowouts. All the top teams did what they were supposed to do. Probably one of the good games was Clemson and Virginia Tech. Clemson, again, took care of business. Alabama had a big-time blowout. Shout out to my team, Notre Dame. They had a big blowout.
Texas Tech and Oklahoma State was a good game last night. That one came down to the very end.
Oklahoma State, though,
Tech was in there. Yeah, Oklahoma State is legit. They're pretty good.
Oh yeah, there was one big upset this week, which was actually from Friday night. USC top 5. They were number 5. They lost to Washington State, so we'll see how far back that drops from Washington. Washington State was ranked number 16,
right?
So it's still an upset. Nobody, USC's known to do that.
Yeah,
though.
Another overrated Pac-12
Pac-12.
team. Don't get me started. Yep,
right.
It happens every year, man. They hype them up and then they lose to somebody like Washington State. Yeah. Shout out to TCU, who was on Idol. The Frogs, Go Frogs. They are 9, and they look like a legit 9. And they're talking about they may be They may be one of the contenders for the playoff. The way that the Big 12 is going to break down with the championship this year, so they might
looking for
play
real
against
Georgia,
Oklahoma.
University of Georgia, man, they blew out Tennessee yesterday. Blowout, shutout.
Yeah,
nothing, man.
Yeah.
So that looks good for Notre Dame that they lost to them because Georgia's for real, man.
Yeah.
Ohio State had a shutout. I mean, there wasn't just much going on other than blowouts and shutouts yesterday in the top 25. So.
Yeah. Can't wait. TCU plays against West Virginia next week. That should be pretty good. See if they're for real. West Virginia is tough. They always have a tough team. I'm sorry. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean
that's pretty much it as far as the college goes.
Right. There wasn't a lot of movement in the rankings, so not a lot of losses. So it was just a bunch of blowouts. So we'll see if we get any more interesting games or matchups this next week in college football.
Yeah.
And see who moves up, who moves out.
Yeah, and while we're talking about NCAA, we'll touch a little bit about the NCAA scandal with Rick Pitino being fired. Rick Pitino is a high-profile coach at Louisville. Yeah, that's crazy. He's the national championship winner.
And for those that don't know what we're talking about, there was a big scandal that rocked NCAA sports this week with a lot of impacts on a lot of different things as far as like money laundering.
Right, and you got a big corporations, Adidas and Nike, involved in being investigated, and you're talking about schools like Louisville, Arizona, USC, Oklahoma State, Auburn, Alabama. These are big name schools. Yeah,
they're pay for play basically was going down.
I mean, in college sports, there's always been a lot of stuff going on under the table here and there, but this is advanced. That you have the FBI involved, looking into schemes where what these coaches are doing is recruiting these kids, getting them money, funneling money, giving them to them, which is illegal in the first place, but also having them sign up with these financial advisors later on and committing to them and committing their money to them later, and no telling what these people are trying to suggest for them to do, if anything, if they're even working for these kids. And all these coaches, even a big former NBA player, Chuck Person, is involved as well. So you're talking about a lot of these schools and the whole face of college.
Historic,
the whole face of college
scandal.
Basketball may be changing, and there may be even major changes to the way that the college athletes are compensated. That may be something that we have to look into if so many schools are involved.
Yeah,
because
it's going to be
all
interesting
corrupt.
to keep up with the story and what's going to be the fallout of everything.
Exactly. See, whose heads roll and what teams get banned, and there's a lot going on with it. I mean, with the Pitino thing, it's a little different because you're involving prostitution and a lot of different things. It was his third strike. Basically, he's also involved with this, and there's a lot of connections there. There's a lot of pieces, a lot of stuff that still needs to be proven and addressed, but it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. I'm a big-time college fan, and, I mean, these are teams, as a casual fan, even if you just watch the tournament, these teams. So these are legit teams and legit programs. And to say that it's only involved in basketball may be naive, so it may be
bigger than that.
It may be college
NCAA
football,
sports,
all NCAA sports. Yeah, just to limit it just to basketball. That's to me, that's hopeful thinking.
If it got to this level at on basketball, which there's a lot of money in basketball in college, but football and in college is a big time business. So you think if it's going down in basketball, it's not going down in football, you'll be surprised.
Exactly, bro. Big time, yeah. So it's going to be a lot of things to watch out for that.
Right. So that's part of our what's happening.
Yeah, what's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah, man. As far as me for what's happening, I can't wait. The NBA preseason's about to start. There was a trade. D Wade went to the Cavs. How do you feel about the Cavs? Is that an uptick, or maybe their bench is maybe a little better?
Know. I don't know how he fits in with them over there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played with LeBron. They won championships, but they're not the same anymore.
Yeah,
it's not the same team where they played together. Wade, definitely has fallen off to what he was at one point.
Big time, yeah. So, they hated him on the Bulls, so we'll see.
He went over there, didn't do much for his home team, and now he's
kicked him out of team. Yeah, they kicked him out of town. All the young guys hated him on their team, so we'll see if LeBron can make everybody like him in their locker room.
A little bit of
he
boxing.
was with them, for a little while, so we'll see, but. I think they're still one of the heavy favorites in the East because the East is what it is. The Cavs can sleepwalk their way to get to the Eastern Conference championship, it seems like. So, I think it's interesting more just because of their whole affection for each other.
Right.
Right? Yeah, but the Mavs start on the 2nd against the Bucks, so I can't wait to see Dirk back in action.
Right. We'll see how we improved any. I want to see our rookie.
Dennis Smith.
He impressed a lot in the summer league, so I definitely want to see him in the game and see what he's going to do.
He's a big-time candidate for Rookie of the Year, so we'll see how that goes. The Stars are also starting next Friday against the Vegas Knights, and they're in their inaugural season, so the Stars are supposed to be looking better, and they got a new goalie, new defense, a lot of new players. They're one of the hyped-up teams of the league and the NHL, so I'm excited to see that. That's pretty much.
In boxing news, it looks like Deontay Wilder was supposed to be fighting King Kong Ortiz, and that fight might be up in jeopardy. Ortiz did test positive for PED, and so that's like 3 fighters now that Wilder has fought that has tested positive before the fight.
That's scary.
So we're gonna see. Everybody was talking about that Wilder was gonna get whooped by Ortiz. That he's not a true boxer. He's not as good as people put him. But I've seen Deontay Wilder fight in person. When he won his belt against Stavern, and to me he's great. He's only gotten better, and he got a late start to his career. He wasn't a boxer from the get go. He was playing football, but man, he's strong. He's naturally powerful.
Yeah.
So
that's important because Joshua is on another level. Would you say from Wilder?
Yeah.
So. Wilder's trying to get to Joshua's level, but nobody's fighting him.
Out, but he can't get the fights he needs to try to get that set up.
That sucks.
This was supposed to be like back-to-back heavyweight fights. They were supposed to have a fight night with Wilder and Ortiz, and then followed by Joshua again. Right. I forgot the guy that he's fighting, but that was supposed to me lead up to maybe them having a matchup.
Right. That sucks, man.
I'm ready to see heavyweight boxing back in the news, man. Back in
America,
in the limelight.
In the U.S.,
America,
not Klitschko's. I mean, respect to the Klitschko's, but there hadn't been that many American heavyweights in a long time, so we're due. Yeah, definitely. That sucks to hear that, but I know Crawford has a fight coming up soon.
Yeah,
so that's
the Charlo brothers.
The Charlo brothers, they're awesome. So
he's got a fight coming up.
Boxing is doing good. ESPN just made a big contract with them to have more fights. So people have said boxing's dead. It's here to stay. So be on the lookout for it on ESPN.
Right.
What do you think about that? That's what's happening.
What's happening? Oh, and shout out to Jacob, birthday boy.
Oh, yeah, big time. Jacob, he watches the show, big Cowboys fan, and he had his first game recently. So shout out to him. I hope you do good in your season. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a very happy birthday, sir.
Right. We appreciate everybody that did tune in with us today. This was episode 10. Who would have thought we'd have 10 episodes of people actually wanting to listen to us do what we do every Sunday during football season?
Not me. It's a dream come true.
We
Thank
appreciate everybody that calls in, that tunes in, that shares our page. We're trying to get to 500 people following us on our Facebook page, and we're going to have another giveaway. So make sure y'all stay tuned in for that. Make sure y'all share our page with everybody y'all know. Make sure y'all get people watching the show, man. And if you don't get a chance to tune in live, it will be available tomorrow, Monday morning, for you to listen on your way to work or at work if you can. Make sure you support the movement.
Yep, for sure. Thank you very much. Appreciate
shout out
it.
from Big Manny at the Sports Cave to everybody tuning in, man. We do appreciate everybody. Yeah. Y'all have a great Sunday. Enjoy some football and go Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Adolf, thank y'all very much. Appreciate it, Mino. Thanks for calling in, man.
Thank you for watching the Sports Cave on #Champs.
#Champs is a Twisted Curve production.